you going to be
And
recording?
what I wanted to do is that, rather than just talk about all of the different powders that we have, because we have so many, I kind of wanted to give you on why we formulate with powders, how to use powders the best, what is the best way to be able to talk about the powders. Because here's the thing, in my presentations, I like to teach you things that aren't just about the product, because don't worry, I'll give you videos on the product. I'll write about the product, but I want you to understand why we develop products. What are the true benefits of the ways that we develop products and some of the benefits of what the health issue is for these types of products. So I think this might be a little bit more fun for you. So here's the thing, guys. We have 3 types of powders. The first type of powder we have are called micronutrient powders. The best example of this is BTT. BTT's main focus is to give you vitamins and minerals and amino acids. Those are the 3 main benefits of that product. I know it has probiotics. I know it has the fruit and vegetable blend. I know it has the antioxidant blend. But really the main focus of that product is vitamins and minerals. Same thing as a product like Rebound. Rebound is really just vitamins and minerals, okay? They're called micronutrient powders. The second type of powders we have are called macronutrient products. Macro for large amounts. And the only large amount of nutrition that you need is proteins, carbohydrates, fats, and fibers. So we develop a whole line of macronutrient products. These are like the Fit Shake, the TMR Shake, the Slender FX Shake. These products are focused on just giving you macronutrients. Then there's another set of powders which are for specific nutrients and specific benefits. This is less of the general overall health and wellness and for a specific issue that we want to deal with the body or a specific benefit. This would be like the True Cleanse, or it would be like the Fucoid or the Z Radical powder. It would be like the Pollen Burst. These are products for a specific benefit. And each of these are formulated in certain ways, and they also are best used in certain ways. And I'll kind of talk about that here in a second. So, why do we even develop powders? We develop powder. People always think we develop powders because they're easier or better to absorb. They're easier absorbed, or they're better absorbed, or they're easier broken down. And that's true, but that's true based on the individual. Because here's the real research, that it really is only a difference about 20 to 30 minutes of whether a tablet is going to break down and absorb, or whether you're going to get breakdown and absorption through a powder, or even a liquid. And the reason for that is because I don't know if many of you know, so you have different forms, right? You've got, you can develop gels, you can develop tablets, capsules, soft gels, powders, and liquids. That's the main kind of ways in which you can deliver supplements, okay? And the main ones are really tablets, soft gels, and capsules, okay? The tablet is the hardest thing to break down, okay? And you always hear of those stories that, people take these tablets and the same way that they came in is the same way they came out, and nobody ever broke them down. That used to happen a long time ago. It doesn't happen much anymore. And that's because they changed the rules and regulations of what you could put on a tablet. You used to be able to put the same wax that you put on your car on top of a tablet. And that caused people not to be able to break it down. But now, for most products, tablets have these small little beads of cellulose. It's like a fiber, okay? And when you formulate, you put these small little beads in the mix, and then you take it, and then you put it in a tablet press. And you make a tablet. And what happens is, when you swallow that tablet, water gets into the tablet, it gets into that cellulose bead, and it expands. And that's how the tablet breaks. And so now you have the ability to break these tablets, okay? But the difference is that it is easier for people to take a powder. It's easier for them to drink. Oftentimes, I'll see people say, oh, I can't take that EFA, it's way too big. That soft gel, way too big. I can't take that Ultimate Daily, it's way too big. And then I see them eating a steak, or I see them take a big bite of a sandwich, and I say, well, you're pretty much eating some pretty big bites there, and you have no problem, right? But it's a different type of kind of feeling they get, and sometimes people are telling you all of the things why they shouldn't do something rather than why they should do something, right? And so, but the thing is that this is better for certain demographics. So remember, one of the key ways in which you get the power of your supplements is by making sure that you break them down. One of the key things to break them down is your digestive enzymes. People that are very young or people that are very old will have issues with their digestive system. Only because sometimes when you're very young, it's immature. When it's very old, you're actually producing less digestive enzymes, or you created such a deterioration in your digestive system that it's caused you not for it to be able to work properly. So liquids are really great because you don't have to worry about how much digestive enzymes. You don't have to worry necessarily about your gut lining. You don't have to worry about those things. Now I will say is that does, just because something gets absorbed, doesn't mean that it gets utilized. A lot of times people say, oh, look at my product, it gets absorbed so quickly. But that doesn't mean that those nutrients are getting utilized. Because if I develop something and it's able to get through the gut, but those nutrients are not recognized by the body's not going to utilize it. So it doesn't make any sense. Just because something gets absorbed doesn't mean that it gets utilized. And then one of the greatest things for me about powders is that it forces hydration. And I know we talk about this separately, but we don't talk enough about it with supplementation. The more that you hydrate, the better your health is going to be. Water is the true elixir of life. Water is what creates detoxification. Water is what creates the metabolic efficiencies so that your body can run. Water is what takes out the waste that your body produces and what your body takes in. So therefore, powders are so great because it forces hydration. If I have someone that is sick, I tell them, drink BTT. But drink BTT in 32 ounces of water, 16 ounces of water. I tell them to drink it in lots of water. What I do, first thing in the morning, right after I brush my teeth, the first thing that I do is I mix 4 scoops of BTT and 32 ounces of water, and I drink it within a half an hour. I drink it right away. The reason for that is because I slept for 8 to 9 hours. My body was working overtime in those 8 or 9 hours. It was repairing itself. It was recovering. It was rebuilding. It was working while I was sleeping. Whenever you work, you create waste. But where was that waste going? I didn't go up to go to the bathroom. I wasn't eating anything. I wasn't drinking anything. So the only place that waste was going was out through my skin. But that's it. So what am I going to do first thing in the morning? Why would I add more waste in? Why would I add more food in? I don't think it's a good idea. Why would I put more trauma in? I don't care if it's eggs. I don't care if it's bacon. I don't care if it's vegetables. Those things are going to cause my body to work more. So why wouldn't I put something in to help to flush my system? Why wouldn't I put something in to help to neutralize that stress? That's why I'm drinking BTT, because those are the nutrients that help to neutralize all of that stress. That's why I put it in 32 ounces of water, because I want to flush my system. I'm telling you, you tell people to just do that for 90 days. Don't change anything else. Just first thing in the morning, drink your scoops of BTT in 32 ounces of water. I will guarantee you that they will have such an impact on their health that they will continue to use our products for the next 120 days. And that's what you're trying to do. You're just trying to get them to a point in which they increase the value of what they're doing, that they continue. It's an amazing thing. Whether it's for weight loss, whether it's for removing toxicity, all of those sort of things that cause the body to be unhealthy, to me, that is the single most important thing that you could do with our products. Next, obviously, drinks are enjoyable. They're much more fun to take, especially when they taste really good. I'm sure people love to drink Pollen Burst. They love to drink Saxy. They love to drink them because they taste really good, okay, right? And that's one of the benefits of when you're talking to people about our products. A lot of people drink things that are unhealthy. A lot of people drink things that don't have any health in them. For those two situations, for somebody that's unhealthy, what a great way for you to be able to promote our powder products, our drink products, because you can say now you can replace whatever you were drinking that was unhealthy with this, or because you're unhealthy, you should be doing something every second of the day to be healthy. So why don't I give you this powder that you could drink, that you could enjoy, that also brings you great health? See, this is how you can get someone to just taste a little bit of the products. Hey, you drink a can of soda every day? No worries at all. I used to do that too. But you know what I did? Is I realized that I was drinking that soda because I liked the taste and it gave me a little bit of energy. So I started drinking Pollen Burst because it tasted good and it gave me some energy. So why don't you try that for the next week? Just replace your Coke with Pollen Burst and see what happens. Here's the thing, guys. I didn't need to talk about superoxide dismutase. I don't need to talk about antioxidants. I don't need to talk about the health benefits. All I needed to talk about was the things that he said why he was drinking that can of soda. And all I said is that you were drinking that can of soda because of habit, because you liked the taste, and because it gave you energy. Let me give you the same habit, let me give you hopefully the same taste, and let me give you a lot more energy. We can talk about the health stuff later. And if you do it for the week, you're probably going to tell me about the health stuff. Right? And so the next thing is that when you take in powders, you get immediate digestion. Okay, right? And the best way is obviously on an empty stomach. Now this is good, and it's also bad. And I'll talk to you about the bad stuff. But the good stuff is that, listen, if you want somebody to immediately feel the benefit, tell them to take something on an empty stomach. So one of the things, obviously, that is a product that really does this is that Cardio Beats that Steve and I were talking about the other day. So Cardio Beats is just a product that's made with whole beets and mango and cherry. But the thing about the benefit of those things is that it helps to increase this gas, this molecule in the body called nitric oxide. And nitric oxide helps the blood to circulate. One of the things is it helps the blood to circulate faster. When you get more circulation, you get more energy. So what happens is that if you drink the Cardio Beats, and if you drink it on an empty stomach, and you drink it with a little bit of water, but not a lot of water, so it's like a little shot, like 4 to 6 ounces, I'm telling you, you're going to drink this, and all of a sudden you feel energized. But the weird thing is that it didn't affect your nervous system. Usually you feel energized because you drink some caffeine. Usually you feel energized because you had some sugar, because those two things are acting on your nervous system. But here, where is the energy coming from? The energy coming from the blood circulation. And when blood circulates faster, you get more oxygen. When you get more oxygen, you get more energy, right? And so that's something that immediately you feel. So, and I always tell people, if you're going to mix our products, mix it in water. The reason why I want you to mix it in water is not that some of the other things that you're mixing it are bad. It's just that I can't account for it. If you take the Fit Shake and you mix it with almond milk or coconut milk or whatever, I'm not saying that those things are bad. But what I am saying is that I didn't account for that. I put a certain amount of calories, a certain amount of protein, a certain amount of carbs, a certain amount of fat, because I wanted you to get a certain health benefit. When you start messing around with the context, then I don't necessarily know what you're doing, right? It doesn't mean that it's always bad. Because remember, sometimes people are taking those shakes and they want to make it more keto friendly, so they're adding heavy cream to make more fat. That's great. But where I always get concerned is when some people will take the product and they'll mix it with juice. Right? And I don't know what juice you're mixing it with. I don't know how many more calories you ended up with. It's kind of like, taking a broccoli and dipping it in ram sauce. It's still broccoli. You're still getting all the nutrients from broccoli, but you changed its whole context. And oftentimes now you're not going to get as much of the benefit as you could, right? And then this is a small point, but just when you do drink a powder, you have to make sure that you shake it so you do get a very homogeneous kind of mix that everything dilutes and safe. I don't know why I put that in there. It's stupid. So this is the main slide. The main slide is, okay, so what the powder, what the pea, okay, right? So these are the things that you're probably facing. Okay, right? So when people drink some of our products, especially the ones that they drink, this doesn't happen so much with the capsules and the soft gels and the tablets, because do remember, those things, they'll take longer to absorb and break down. That's why one little note is that if you ever want somebody to take a lot of something right away, sometimes you may want them to take tablets, because you can overload the system, right? And for the most part, most people won't have any issues because they're going to be very deficient if they're sick. The only reason why you want to give somebody so much more is because they need so much more, right? But oftentimes tablets and soft gels and capsules are useful because they do string out the absorption. You'll notice that the Proline products, sometimes we use the bi-layer tablet. It's because some things break down certain areas of the body at certain times, and other things break down certain areas of the body at certain times. And so oftentimes that's really beneficial. But usually you'll notice that when we develop those products, they're for a very, very specific purpose. There isn't general health, wellness, and nutrition. So the number one thing that you'll get, I'm sure, people getting stomach upset, right? They drink the BTT, they drink whatever, and their stomach gets upset. They feel nausea, okay, right? The reason why they feel nausea is because the reason why Dr. Conaway talks about your gut as the little brain, the reason why that is because there's no other area of the body that has more neurons than the gut. The gut has an entire set of neurons that feed directly to the brain. And the reason why this is it's because of an evolution response. If you consume something that was poisonous or something that was bad, and the stomach immediately knew that it was bad, it would send the signal to the brain, and the brain would then cause the muscles to constrict, and you would throw it up. Okay, right? Also, if you consume food, those triggers in the gut actually know how much protein, how much carbs, how much fats, how much fiber was in that food. And the brain says, okay, I needed to make sure you hit this level, this level, this level, this level. You did that, you don't need to eat anymore. This is why I was saying in my other presentation, there's only 3 types of species that are overweight: humans, cats, and dogs. And the reason for that is because humans have their brain to override their body. You don't see any heavy giraffes hanging out in the back while all the skinny ones play by the water. They're all the same weight. Lions and tigers and everyone in safari, they're always the right weight. The only reason why dogs and cats are overweight is because we're the ones feeding them. If they fed themselves, they would just be fine. Okay, right? And so therefore there's a lot of brain activity that goes on in the gut. Well, when you take in something that's foreign, that the body is not used to, whether it's good or bad, it's going to say, whoa, 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 I don't understand this. I don't believe this is what I'm supposed to be taking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send a signal to the brain that says, whoa, maybe we shouldn't be drinking this. Maybe we shouldn't be taking this. That's the first thing. The second thing is anytime you're drinking powders, they are aggressive. They are potent. And so if you have a sensitive stomach, in the sense that it's just a very... Sensitive stomachs are just poor gut lining. It's not like you're highly sensitive, like Dr. Wallach's ears. Like, he's highly sensitive, so he can hear an ant sing, okay, right? Like, that's not your stomach. Don't be proud that you've got a sensitive stomach. It just means your stomach has deteriorated to such a point that it's like a tube. And it's deteriorated so bad that now anything causes it pain. Okay, right? Second thing, people have to go to the bathroom a lot. Right? They'll say, oh, I took your products and I had to go to the bathroom all the time. I hear this all the time. I had to go to your bathroom all the time. Oh, you know, and they make such a fuss. Like, oh, I had to go to the bathroom all the time. And I always say to myself, okay, no problem. Next time I'm going to formulate something, you'll never have to go to the bathroom. We'll just keep it all in there. How about that? Does that make any sense? You know, right? Sometimes the body is doing 2 things. Number 1, remember, whenever you're doing something good, you're helping the body to do its main thing, its main function to live, which is to detoxify. Remember, guys, the number 1 thing that your body wants to do on a daily, hourly, secondly basis is to detoxify, to get rid of toxins. And the only way it can get rid of toxins is through the pores, through your ears, through your nose, through your mouth, through your skin, through your elimination systems. So therefore, if you're eliminating things, that's a great thing. So there's that one thing. But the second thing is, listen, sometimes your body is rejecting. It's saying, listen, I'm not used to this. This is not something that I've been doing. This is something that is way too potent. Something that is way too whatever, and I don't understand it. So instead of trying to learn it, I'm going to get rid of it. And so that's why you go to the bathroom. Now, if you keep going to the bathroom after 7 or 10 days, which is a good acclimation period, then there could be another issue. But for the first, it's just like a doctor. You don't call a doctor. I don't know how many of you guys are doctors. I don't know how many of you have family members that are doctors, but I've got some family members that are doctors. And listen, when my uncle, when my sister, when my brother-in-law, they put you on some sort of medication, and you have some sort of adverse effect, their thing is, don't call me until the 10th day.
Wow.
Because of course you're going to have an adverse effect, for the most part. Okay, right? And the reason why is it's going to take your body time to figure out what this thing is. Okay, right? And so you, just like I'm no different. Just because this is really healthy, just because it's really great, if you haven't been doing it for a long time, or doing it at all, or even when you have been doing it, you've been using cheap supplements, that's what's happened to me all the time too, is that they'll say, listen, no, I've been taking supplements forever. I don't know why this is causing, there's something wrong with your supplement. I'll say, okay, no worries, you're on. What have you been taking? Oh, I've been taking Centrum. I've been taking GNC. I've been taking Kirkland. I've been taking all these. How much did you pay for that? Oh, I paid $8, $10, $15. Well, listen, guys. I know the nutrition business. Okay, right? I know the formulation business. You get what you pay for. If you pay for something that was $30, you got something that was $30. You pay something for $7, you got something for $7. That is a fact, okay, right? And so you got to be careful in what they do. Obviously, palate preferences. People, I have issues with the taste, okay, right? I can't drink this. It tastes bad. I can't drink this. It's too sweet. I can't drink this. It's too sour. Here's the thing, guys, is that I get it. I understand. I do things oftentimes that are most comfortable. But depending on my situation, I'm going to do things above and beyond because I know that whatever I'm trying to get to is going to be a struggle. So when somebody tells me, hey, Jeevers, you know what? I can't drink BTT because it's too sour, it's too sweet. My natural response to them, well, how does diabetes taste to you? How does disease taste to you? How does not being able to wake up taste to you? Okay, right? And that's the truth.
Yeah.
Right? So you got to figure out where your boundary is. This isn't a question of BTT. It's not a question of taste. It's a question of you. It's a question of your commitment, your will, your perseverance to you. So let's talk about that. Because if we don't talk about that, then it doesn't matter what products I have. It doesn't matter what support I give you. It doesn't matter what community that I have. Because it all starts with you. So that. And then you have this conversation that I always get of yellow pee. Oh, my pee's too yellow. I'm peeing out expensive vitamins. Here's the crazy thing that I don't know why people don't get this. So I don't know that those same people, and I get it, they don't get this, but there's no way that you can bypass your entire digestive system. So when you tell me you have expensive pee, what you're saying is that you took something, and whatever you took went straight from your gut into the bladder. There isn't even a pathway from the gut to the bladder. It's impossible. There is no pathway from the gut to the bladder. There is a pathway from the gut to the digestive system, to the kidneys, to the bloodstream, to the bladder. That's the path. That's the way, right? So if it came out in your pee, that means it went through all of those areas. And you know what that means? You must have taken something that was really good. It must have been really able to break down. It must have gotten absorbed because the only way that it got into the bladder was it got absorbed into the bloodstream. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
So therefore, it's not the fact that you're taking something that's not able to be broken down. It's something that you actually took and it got broken down. This is a sign of high quality product. Now the question is whether the nutrition that you took got utilized. And that I don't know. That you're not going to know until the very end. And what I mean is the very, very end. Like the very end in which it won't give a shit what that question answer is because you're done. Okay, right? So it won't matter. Okay, right? You have to look at nutrition in the sense that if you believe that your body works on nutrition and you know that nutrition is made of nutrients and you believe that the more nutrients that you get into your body will give you great health, then you should worry less about that conversation because it can't be detected. Unfortunately, it just can't. And so you have to almost sign your check like you do every month as an insurance policy. And you keep paying that check because some days you're going to be really good with your nutrition and with your level of stress, and some days that you're not. And you know that for those days that you're not, you'll be able to feel good about the fact that you did take in your nutrition and your nutrients to help with your wellness. That's just the way that it is. Gas or bloating usually happens with protein products, and usually happens with protein products well, really just the protein part of the protein product. It could be animal-based proteins like whey and calcium caseinate and such, or it could be animal-based, or plant-based like pea protein and hemp protein. We have one product, and I'll probably come out with another one that is going to be just plant-based products, plant-based protein products, okay, right? And that's really great, but some people have the ability to digest it, some people don't, okay, right? And so therefore you kind of have to be careful, because one of the things that is hard to break down is proteins. And digestive enzymes and gut environment, microbiome environment is really, really important to figure out whether you're going to have this type of adverse effect. The last thing is the still hangry. It's kind of my little thing of being hungry and angry. I think many of you guys can relate to that. But the whole point is that, drinking meal replacements especially, sometimes it doesn't give you that fullness that you want, right? And the reason for that is, like I said earlier, your stomach has a lot of triggers. And one of the triggers is the fact that whether you're full or not. And liquids don't activate all of those triggers as well. And that's why you feel that, okay, right? So here's the solutions to this. Guys, don't rush anyone into nutrition. I know they're sick. I know they need it right away. But from the get-go, if you just acclimate them. My mom had to take half of a scoop of BTT for 2 weeks. Then she had to take the other half for a month. Then she had to take another, and so 1.5 scoops for another 30 days. And I had to basically wait 30 days to get her full dose. It's okay, because remember, the digestive system, the health condition of someone, the age, all that sort of stuff, that relates to how well someone's going to be able to take a product right away. And the last thing you want to do is create a bad experience. You'd rather create an average experience rather than a bad experience. Or even a no experience rather than a bad experience. Because at least if you had no experience, you could at least tell them the reason why you're not feeling it, because I can't get you to take all of it. So you've got to just stay with me for a little bit. Okay, right? Next thing is you can dilute the product. And dilution is not only by water, but by buffering. If you feel like somebody like my mom, she would always have to take her supplements with her heaviest meal. I'm not hurting the nutrients. She's not going to not absorb them, but she's going to get a really great experience because she won't feel an immediate rush of nutrients. And guys, oftentimes the best time to take a supplement is when you're eating. Especially capsules and soft gels and things like that. That's why I always tell people, when you take your EFAs, take it with your meal that has the most fat. Because fat is best absorbed in a fat environment. So you're not going to get as much of a benefit if you take your EFAs just on an empty stomach. You won't get as much benefit from taking turmeric by itself. Take herbal products, take spice-based products with food. If I don't have food, I always take my turmeric. I'm a big fan of turmeric. I take my turmeric and my EFAs together because I know that turmeric is best absorbed in a fatty environment. So I put those two things together, right? So hey guys, I'm telling you, take it with food is fantastic, okay, right? Taking with other supplements, I know people like to mix, and I'll talk about that in a second, but sometimes you want to separate your supplements, okay, right? Not that you won't necessarily get all of the benefit, right? But the fact is that when you start rushing somebody a bunch of different nutrients at the same time, you're going to significantly increase the possibility of one of those things on the left happening. Okay, right? And then obviously, secondly, taking it with foods and flavors. I just want you to take it. Do I like the fact that you're taking some of the products with apple juice? No. Do I love the fact that you're taking the products? Yes. So just take them, right? Does that make sense, right? So here's some things that people do. The first thing they do is they mix the powders together. Is this good? Is this bad? Is this allowable? It's all great. It's fine. You're not going to hurt significantly the benefits of mixing things together. The only thing that I do caution you with is that proteins do bind with minerals. And they oftentimes cause those minerals not to be absorbed as well. It's not a huge amount, but it's not optimal. So therefore, I don't necessarily mix my protein powders with other supplements, especially mineral-based supplements, okay, right? And so I kind of leave those things together. So for example, I would never have the TMR shake or the Fit shake and mix it with plant-derived minerals. I would keep them separately, okay, right? Next thing, obviously, like I said, try to mix these things with water because you will change the context of it. If you do mix it with other things, it's okay to mix it with other things. It's not bad. I just want you to get it. I don't know really anything that you could mix with the powder, one of our powders, that is so bad, if you will, or hurt. My thing isn't so bad or so good. It's, are you optimizing the nutrients that are in that particular product? Okay, right? And I just don't know them. The cool thing about powders is you can dose them, and so you can give them to children. Okay, right? Not all of them, but the ones that you can give them to kids. The two things that I've always done with my niece and nephew is that I've always given them BTT and products like Saxy, right? BTT I feel very safe for, vitamins and minerals. Things like Saxy I feel super safe with. And the reason why is any whole food-based product, I feel really good no matter what the age is, okay, right? Also, I mix a lot of the protein products with for kids, you know what I mean, right? Having 10 grams of protein, 8 grams of protein, I think is a good thing. You know, it's oftentimes, if they have to have their cereal, which sometimes they do, I'll try to say, hey, let's sneak in a little scoop of protein in there, you know, right? So now I don't feel bad that they're just eating a bunch of carbohydrates, you know? Self-bottling, a lot of people do this. They mix the product before and then they put it in the fridge and they do it. That's fine, I think, the night before and drink it the next day, but I don't feel it's a good idea to make a bunch of bottles and then like have it for a couple days or whatever. And the reason for that is, remember, once you take that powder and you mix it with water, it's activated. And once it's activated, it begins to deteriorate. This is why, like, when people juice, right? They juice, I don't know how many of you juice, and then they'll put it in the fridge. It's kind of pointless. Like, if you don't drink those juices within the next, 10 or 15 minutes, you lose a ton of enzymatic activity, like a lot of enzymatic activity, okay, right? And then you obviously lose a lot of water-soluble vitamins, the B vitamins, the C vitamins, things like that. So I wouldn't be doing so much self-bottling. Drinking it as a meal, kids do this a lot, especially girls in high school, is that they feel like they can just drink their meals. You know, they'll drink BTT and say, oh, that's my breakfast. Or they'll drink one of these other things and they'll say, oh, because there's health in them, there's vitamins in there. Even protein drinks. A lot of people have this issue is that they think that they can just, oh, I want to lose weight, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drink meal replacements all day. Well, it makes sense, right? I'm drinking my protein, I've got my macronutrients, I have my micronutrients, so why not? That's not necessarily the safest thing to do, okay, right? It doesn't work in the body in the same way, right? Extreme conditions, the only things I worry about, guys, is when you guys heat products, right? When you heat them, especially water-soluble vitamins, they break down very quickly. Like, you can literally break down like the B's and the C's at like 50% by heating them too hot, okay, right? Having them too hot, okay, right? Minerals you don't have to worry so much about, right? Herbs and enzymes you definitely do. So you got to be careful with some of these phytonutrient products, these plant-based products, is that you want to keep it kind of lukewarm or regular, and really even too cold. Cold doesn't hurt anything. This is a little bit biased. I don't think that you should really drink things in too high or too low temperatures, if you will, right? And then storage containers, just be careful how you're storing these things. A lot of people store them in bottles and things like that, right? You don't necessarily hurt the product. You just create a product that in totality may not be as healthy because of the leaching and kind of things like that, not super big, So watch this, guys. So there's 3 reasons why you're taking the products. Either you're doing it because you just want general nutrition. Like, that's me in the morning. I just want general nutrition. I'm just drinking it to fill in my deficiencies. It's for maintenance. Those times, When I'm actually doing it, I don't have any issues in mixing things. Okay, right? If I get a cold, I don't mix anything. I drink things separately. Okay, right? So when I get a cold, the first thing that I do is I drink a bunch of Rebound. Okay, right? Rebound is my go-to product. Okay, right? And so therefore, I don't mix it with anything because I do believe that taking it in its natural matrix, when possible, I'm going to do it. Honestly, guys, that's how I would take all of the products. If I'm able to do them by themselves, I take them by themselves. But as I was talking to Dr. Wallach just a little bit ago, hey, time is time. We only have so much of it. And so I'd rather for you to get everything all together if that's just what it takes. You know what I mean, right? And so those are like targeted symptoms. You know, I'm feeling sick, I'm feeling dehydrated, all that sort of stuff. Oh yeah. And here's another thing, is that for some things, I concentrate them. And so I'll take Rebound and I'll put it in, instead of 16 ounces of water, I'll put it in 6 ounces of water. Just because I want to get that rush of nutrition in. Okay, right? And then there's the specific benefits. This is more like for the macronutrient products. You know what I mean, right? These are the long-term things like muscle recovery and things like that. Okay, right? So here's the 3 categories of products that we have. The multi-nutrient powders. This is like the BTT, the Super Greens, the Rebound, and the Ultimate Youth. These products right here, in my opinion, are that comprehensive, complete nutrient set. Okay? They may work differently. The BTT works on micronutrients. The Super Greens is more on phytonutrients. And then Rebound is more on micronutrients. You see what I'm saying? But this is a nice comprehensive set of nutrients. This is like, these are my multivitamins. If I was going to take a multivitamin, if I take multivitamins, these are my multivitamins. Okay, right? And the cool thing with a couple of these is based on what people's perspectives are about what type of nutrition that they want to take. Like some people, like my neighbor, is all into just natural, whole food nutrition. So when I tell them about their BTT is actually called Super Greens. Because all that is just natural, whole-based plants. Then there's another friend of mine who just wants to get the Russian, that's the vitamins and minerals, okay, right? These are our macronutrient products. And so we've got products like TMR, Fit Shape, Keto. This is categorized really by weight loss, meal replacement, and performance. Those are the 3 types of macronutrients, and you'll notice that their profiles are different. TMR is a perfect meal replacement. It's something that you can feel great about saying, listen, if I don't want to eat breakfast, if I don't want to eat lunch, if I don't want to eat dinner, I can have my TMR. Its profile is very balanced. If you want something that is for weight loss, then I'm going to screw around or change the carbohydrate profile, change some of the protein profile, put in some other nutrients. That's like the Slender FX Shake or the Keto. If I want something more from a performance, I want muscle activity, recovery, post-workout, then I've got things like the Fit Shape, where now I've added a little bit of fat, I've added some protein, I have some digestive enzymes, I have fermented vitamin D3. You do all those little things, and that's what you do, okay, right? And then these products right here, these are the targeted ones. These are saying, listen, they're not as much about general health and wellness. They're not going to be able to feed your body anything. What they're going to do is, if you need to cleanse, great, True Cleanse. If you need energy, here's Pollen Burst. If you need immune health, here's I-26. These are specific health benefits that you need, and I'm going to give you a powdered product that's very concentrated, that's very powerful, and this is where this kind of product set comes from. Does that make sense? You know, right? So anyways, guys, do I have any more time? I may be over, because I think I saw people leave. Over?
6 minutes. 5.
Oh, 5 minutes. 5 more minutes? Okay, cool. And so, can I answer some questions? Yeah? Sure. That's okay. Oh. Okay. Sure. Okay. So I think a better product than the keto at 9 years old is probably the TMR shake. Yep, TMR. It's just because, at 9 years old, I think he just needs really good, solid, healthy nutrition. So products like TMR and products like Fit Shake is a little bit better. The other weight loss ones are just for the weight loss ones, we always add like some herbs or we add some other kind of nutrients to help with weight loss. At 9, he just needs foundational nutrition. Oh, he likes the flavor? Oh, okay, well, yeah. Yeah, well, try to maybe mix a little bit of, has he had the TMR or has he? Okay, well, then he doesn't know. So try the TMR and see if that works. Yeah. Oh, there, look at that. Here's the developer and formulator of TMR. Thank you very much. Over there. I'm sorry? That's interesting. I understand the benefits of alkaline water, right? I don't focus on it much. I focus more on the purity of water and then maybe the alkalinity, but I don't necessarily focus on alkalinity. But I understand when people do, right? Thing about alkalinity, buddy, is that the body has the ability to alkalize stuff, right? Really, that kind of whole thing, by the way, is really due to the fact of two things. One, inflammation causes acidity, and that's the number one thing. And then secondly, you remember, is alkalinity is how things are actually burned in the body. So that's why a lemon that's acidic is actually alkaline, right? Because when it burns in the body, its ash is actually alkaline. Right? So anyways, but no worries. Yes.
What happens when you put ice in your powdered drink?
Oh, it just makes it harder to mix.
Huh?
Nothing hurts it. Yeah, nothing hurts it.
You said it breaks down when it's too hot.
Too hot. Too cold, it doesn't. No, unless you're too cold, nothing. Yes.
With the super greens, if you're doing a shake, how would you then use the super greens, or is it either or?
No, the great thing about the super greens, guys, I've got this new concept that you'll hear more about. It's called macro macro phyto, right? The thing about super greens is 100% a phytonutrient product. It's all about bringing you the best of the best of plant-based nutrients, right? And so what you're talking about, like the shake, that's giving you the best of the best macronutrients, right? And so actually they work perfectly in concert. Like if I was to develop the best of the best product, it would be all three of those things in one shake or in one drink.
So how would you do that through your day?
Oh, I drink the super greens like at 2. I drink the super greens around 2 o'clock, 1 or 2 o'clock. You know why? Because of what you said. So there is a lot of acidity that's built up in the body throughout the day because of that I'm working and all that sort of stuff. Well, around 2 o'clock, that's a lot of reason why people feel so tired. There's so much acidity in the body. The greatest thing about plant-based nutrients is they're very alkaline, and they'll neutralize that acidity. And you'll notice super greens wasn't made to be an energy-like formula, but drink it at 2 o'clock, you'll feel like it's not like a burst of energy, it's like a refreshment, right? And I think it's due to the alkalinity, right? So that's how you get it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
My 13-year-old boy asked me that he wants to gain a little weight and muscle.
Yeah. And so meal replacement products are the best products because you're just trying to get him more food, okay, right? Listen, how you gain weight the right way is by getting in the gym, okay, right? It's by exercising, it's by lifting. But he's 13 years old. You gotta be careful, okay, right? And so is his growth plates there? Is his tendons, ligaments able to handle it? So what you're doing right now, and he's gonna hate this, is you just are trying to prepare it. So the greatest way to prepare a 13-year-old is get him the macronutrients that he needs first from food and then supplement with products like ours and then get him that ligament, tendon, bone strength. One of the key things is get him those beyond osteo and really just beyond osteo. Don't do something crazy with 13-year-olds, you know what I mean, right? They just need good nutrition, they need good movement, they need good habits. Prepare them for that when he does hit those growth plates, he'll be able to take off running, you know?